Hi, this is Dozier, uh, and this is my assignment 3 for HCI. I am going to talk about the project scope and the purpose of my design. The scope of the design was to create is to create a carpooling app, an app that lets you find people around you who want to be involved with you to carpool. It could be because they have kids, it could be because they have nephews, it could be because they're babysitting. You never know. Uh, it's basically it's a very simple app. It's it's straight to the point. It's supposed to help a lot of people. The purpose of the design that I chose was just to be straightforward. You never know who's using your application. It could be someone who just got a phone for the first time, or someone who just got a laptop for the first time, or just got on the internet for the first time. You just really never know. So I made it as simple as possible. Here you can see the first name field, the last name field, the postal code, the province. It just goes on, address, the email address, the age, kids, and city. It all depends on who is using this application because some people might not be comfortable putting in their information into such a system, but we have to assure them that it's all going to be private. Now I'm going to talk about the main tasks that are covered in the interface. Just as I mentioned just now, you have the first name field, the last name field, all of these fields that are on the screen right now. And it's expected of the user to fill in these fields as truthfully as they possibly can because it's not just for us. We're not just keeping all of this information just for us, the developers. It's also for the people that they find. It's also for themselves, for their safety, for different reasons. You never know who you could get involved with. As much as I would like to create an app that would go out to help people, there are also people out there that might use these applications for bad reasons. And it's just a good way to keep track of people, to make sure they're okay. And so we expect them to put in their first name, their last name, postal code, province, city, address, age, email, and if they have kids or not. And this is just the first page. This is the create account page. I'll show you in a second the next page, which is the search criteria page. This is the search criteria page. This page lets you, as a user, choose who you want to find. If you want someone with a car, if you want someone who is a parent, because some people just want to know that their kids are with parents. Some people just want to know that they're surrounded by people who understand what they're going through. This application is not totally made just for carpooling. Its primary purpose is that, but it's also to bring people close together, people who live around each other, who commute to the same places every day, just helping each other out. So just like I mentioned, you select if you want the person to be a car owner, because some people don't have cars and they would like it if the other person that they find has a car, and they could help out. They could use the person's car. It's all about building trust, and eventually we all get there. If you want non-smokers, or if you don't care, it could be someone who doesn't like their kids around smokers, or people have the different reasons for doing different things, and we just want to give them as much of an option as possible. This here is the age margin that you want the person to have, and the time available is also very important because you want someone that's available when you need them. If you're going to be busy at like 5 to 10 p.m. or 5 to 10 a.m., you want someone who's available then. So the application lets you choose people that match exactly what you're looking for. And I'm not saying that every single time you would find someone who matches exactly what you're looking for. You might have to tweak your time available or your whether you mind if they're smokers a little bit, but it should work. It should help you find exactly what you're looking for, but with a little bit of wiggle room in between every now and then. Now I'm going to talk about the description of how walkthroughs were performed. Uh, to do the walkthroughs, it was quite easy. I got a couple of friends, just told them to use this application and tell me what they think. Uh, you just fill in your first name, your last name. Some of them I didn't even have to explain what the application was, and some I had to because they just wanted to know. I told them what it was, and they put in their first name, last name, date, address, email address, all those kind of things that I showed in the previous page, the account creation page. This is the search criteria page, and it was very intuitive. It was a straightforward process because it's just fields that have what we, the developers, need from you, the users. So they just put in exactly what they were looking for in the search criteria, filled in the first name, last name fields, and it was a straightforward process. Now I'm going to talk about details of how different low fidelity prototypes were developed and evaluated. For the low fidelity prototypes, I made fields like instead of first name and last name, I just had first name, or no, I just had name, sorry, and they would just put in their first and last name. It was just a quicker version of this current one that I have. I didn't have back and forward buttons then. It was just page to page to page to page, and they would look at one page and I would go to the next page so they would see how it is. There was no link between pages, and right now the links actually don't work because I'm having some merging problems. When I click on forward, it merges this page with the next page. It's a problem I know that has to be fixed before the official release of such an application, but it it's been taking some time and I'm still working on it, but so far this is what I have. Uh, I yeah, like I said, it was there were just fewer text fields to work with, no buttons, and it was easier to make the low fidelity, which it actually is supposed to be. And yeah, the next thing I'm going to talk about is the brief overview of the implementation technologies used. This is Java. I use Java to make all of this. I used frames and panels and buttons, and I can show you my source code right here. It's all panels, frames, buttons. It's all straightforward. It's Java. Here you can see my search criteria right here, and it just has all of the days of the week, the panels. I put all of them in the panel into one frame each. It's very straightforward. It was a very straightforward, very easy process to go through. Next, I'm going to talk about the design rationale of my interface. Thinking about the design rationale, I wanted to create a system that the user felt he could control or she could control. Uh, an interface that was so easy to use, you would really not even need any of these messages at the top that I put at the top of every single page. You just have to put in the necessary information as truthfully as possible for your safety and developers also having your information. It it wasn't challenging at all to come up with this idea of text fields and information and then back and forward. It was a straightforward process, and I think that this would work in the real world. I wanted to make sure if a mistake was made, the user could always go back, and after he's done with the page, he could always go forward. It was ideal to make sure that the user felt like he was in control or she was in control of what they were doing and felt like their information, whatever they put in here, would be kept private. This is the second to the last page of the application. This is the instant messaging page. This is after you've been matched with someone. So you come in here and type your message, and you can send the message to whoever you've been matched with. And this is the last page of the application. This is the individual placement page. It lets you upload yourself as an individual who wants to help people. It's the same as the initial page with first name and last name and all of that. Thank you.